So 31 gives us a function and wants to know the critical numbers. So of course the thing that you have to have memorized is where critical numbers come from. So that's going to be where the first derivative is 0 or undefined. Either way, you're going to need the first derivative. So it looks like we need to be able to do product rule to do that, because it's x times the square root of 2x plus 1. So I'm going to just go ahead and change this to the 1/2, because we always need to do that, or it helps. Product rule says take the derivative of the first part with the second part left alone, plus then the first part left alone times the derivative of the second part. So the derivative of the second part, you would need to bring the power down, lower the power by 1, and then of course the part that I'm concerned about, because all of us, no matter how many problems you do, can still forget chain rule. Derivative of the inside is 2, so we need to multiply by 2. So before I can begin to tell you where this equals 0 or is undefined, I need to try to simplify this a bit. So over here I've got the square root of 2x plus 1. Over here, times 2 divided by 2, those two will cancel. X times 1 in the numerator, and then I'm going to move this to the denominator. Now it looks a little bit better, but as far as solving where this equals 0 or where this is undefined, I've got a similar problem. Now figuring out where a fraction equals 0 or where a fraction is undefined is much easier, but two terms like this, that's kind of problematic. So this is one of those cases where we need to get a common denominator. So I really want to multiply this denominator by the square root of 2x plus 1. So of course I've got to multiply the numerator by 2x plus 1. And so luckily the square root of 2x plus 1 times the square root of 2x plus 1 is just going to be 2x plus 1 plus this x over this new common denominator. Combine your x's in your numerator, and now I've got the first derivative in a form that's going to be not too bad to solve and deal with. So a fraction equals 0 when the numerator equals 0, and 3x plus 1 equals 0 at negative 1/3. So that should be a critical number. Whether it's a max or min or not, it's still a critical number. And critical numbers occur when the first derivative is undefined, which would be any x value that gives you division by 0. So set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. And that looks like negative 1/2. So I would be looking for those two answers, and that matches up with what they've got. I know getting common denominators like this isn't the prettiest, but you guys see that that comes up fairly often. Make sure that you can do it when you need to.